Hey y'all, today I'm back with another video, chainsaw carving these Christmas trees. I know in one of my last videos I said I would make one about how I texture my trees, so that's what I'm gonna do today. So I'm gonna rough the tree out very quickly. I think I'm gonna fast forward for that, just so we can get to the texturing, because that's really what I wanna focus on today. There's a couple things I'm gonna point out before we get into that really quick. So here we go. As you can see, I took a log and I ripped it in half, same way as I did last time. And the log is a little twisty. I'll have to clean it up and flatten it out. But this is a bigger tree. I had a couple of folks ask me if I could make a couple of taller trees. Normally I do trees that are about 30 inches tall. You know, the majority of these ones in here are between 30 inches, like 28 inches to 36 inches. Right around in there, but somebody asked for ones that were a little bit taller, so that's what I'm gonna do. This log here is 4.5 feet. You can see I'm 6'3". This is a lot taller compared to those other ones. But the problem with doing these bigger logs is that they're a lot heavier and you're doing more work, because now I've added on another, almost 2 feet, 1.5 feet, something like that, of carving that I have to do. So make sure that if you have people that ask that, make sure you let them know it's gonna be more money. Like this, I'm almost doubled my price and they're okay with that, but it's gonna be a lot more work. It's a lot more clear coat, it's a lot more burning, it's more sanding, more detailing. So make sure that you let them know the price is gonna go up. And since we're talking about the weight of this, I may not put this in the jaw horse. I might just keep it right on the ground. I'll show you, I have it just sitting on the driveway. And I may put it up on a little bit of a log when I do the bottom part of it, just so I don't hit the ground. But before I do very much moving with this thing, I'm gonna take a ton of weight off. When you cut the top shape and get it into that triangular shape like a tree, that takes a lot of weight off, so I always do that first before I try to do a whole lot of moving. And then one more thing that I want to talk to you all about again is the knot. So when I split this log, I went right down the middle of that log, and the reason is, again, when I taper my tree, I'm probably going to be cutting most of that out, and let me show you. See, here's the knot. So there's the center of the tree. As I'm shaving down, I'm gonna get all of the rod out. The knot itself will still be in the tree, but I'm gonna get all the roddy stuff out of there, and I'll make sure I get it out of this one. So keep that in mind if you have knots in your logs when you go to carve. I was getting tired of hunching way down on the ground, so I felt like I had enough weight off of it, and I did pick it up and put it in the jaw horse. And then now for the rest of these cuts, I'm gonna be at a pretty good height. That's why I did it that way, and I figured I'd stop to explain that to you. I brought it inside, that way the lighting will be a little bit better and we can start talking about the different kinds of texturing. And what I'm going to texture is all of these leaves, you know, like the pine needles, because this looks more like a pine tree to me. And then also down here, let me turn this camera down here. This stuff here, the base of it, sorry, this base I'm going to texture a little bit different. I opted to not go with the trunk like I've done on some of the other ones. See what I'm saying? It doesn't, you know, this one has a trunk on it because this is bigger and I want it to have a lot of bottom weight. I don't want this thing tipping over. And also I'm switching over to the battery saws since I'm inside, and that'll make it a little easier for y'all to hear what I'm doing. Normally I would be wearing my power cap, but the fans inside of it are kind of noisy and I think the microphone will pick it up. I don't know if you can hear this. Hear how loud that is? So instead of using this, I'm gonna throw on some safety glasses and these nose filters. I saw these little nose filters online. I reached out to the company and they sent me some. So I'm gonna give them a try, see how these things actually work. So one of the first ways to do it is you take your saw, you go at a little bit of an angle, and then you just run lines down like this. And I'll bring you in close and show you what I'm talking about. But you just run lines down like this. Okay, so again, I'm gonna take my saw and I'm gonna angle it. You know, I'm not going straight in like this. I'm angling it. And when you do this, start all the way up under there and come all the way down, all the way to the end. You don't want to leave the end flat like this. You want to bring it all the way to the end so that it nicks the edge as well. So this is what I was saying about coming all the way to the edge of the piece. If I lean down and look at it, the bottom of it is straight like this, right? But when I stand up, the way I'll actually be looking at the tree, see how this is uneven? It doesn't go perfectly straight across here. You can see all the grooves and stuff like a tree branch actually would. That's what I mean by that. Okay, I'm gonna hit it with a Burns-O-Matic torch real quick just so you can see the texture. I'm not gonna burn it too much because again, we're inside. See what I mean by how that lay flat texture is? That's one, you know, this is the same style right here. And again, that's one of my favorite styles. Okay, so the next style is you take the chainsaw and you run it this way. And you just kind of make wavy lines like that. Again, I'll hit it with the torch so you can see. There's a little bit different style there. Now this next one that I'm going to do is kind of like bear fur. And that all you're doing is you're just taking the chainsaw and you're just making a bunch of quick hit light lines in just a weird sporadic pattern. See how choppy and sporadic that is? The last style that I'm going to show you is with a die grinder, and this is Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. There's a couple different brands out there like Sabertooth and things like that. I personally like the Kutzall, and if you do happen to use this, make sure you use Jordy's code. It's the letter C Fusion, like carving fusion, and you'll save yourself a little bit of money. And let me show you how well this works. Make sure you're wearing gloves when you use these Kutzall bits because they will draw blood. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put it in here and I'm going to bring it down all the way to the end, and then I'm going to keep doing that, and I'm going to make my lines cross and mix and match. You don't want it to just be perfectly straight lines. You'll see what I'm saying. See what I mean? How I made the lines kind of overlap a little bit. And the more you put in there, the better that'll look. One thing I do really like about this is if you don't have a dime tip bar on your chainsaw, you can also use this to clean up under the limbs and get a little bit further up underneath there if you happen to have one of these. You can even use a Dremel with the smaller Kutzall, the 1/8, because this is the big 1/4 inch. But the Dremel will take you a lot longer. So yeah, that's the 4 basic styles that I use. And after looking at this, I think I'm going to go with this style right here. I kind of like the look of that on this tree. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then for the base here, I'm actually going to lay it down into the jaw horse. Or sorry, lay it flat on top of the jaw horse. And for the base, I like to do this design here for the base. So again, for the base, I'm just going to take my saw and I'm just going to do all kinds of choppy lines all the way around it. Or if you're just trying to make a cheap tree and call it done. You know what I mean? It's up to you. But the more time you spend on these, the more little bit of details you put in there, the more money you can get for them. Like this one, since I'm spending a lot more time, I'm actually going to message the people and tell them that I want more money. Just because, simple fact, it's taken me way more time to do this. Yes, I'm recording, and that's not the time that I'm factoring in. I'm just talking about I've got to go deeper, which is it's not twice the amount of work now. It's like 3 times the amount of work. Plus, this thing is a lot heavier. You know, the other Christmas trees probably would take me 15 to 20 minutes. This one would have taken me at least a good hour and a half. Okay, now I'm going to run it outside and burn it. made sure I signed it. Last thing we got to do is sand it. And to sand it, I'm going to use my drill with my Sandiflex on there. That's a wrap. I'll bring you in and show you. So that's the final product. So the bottom's all nice and choppy like that. And all these limbs are textured. Yeah, I'm happy with how that came out. Now, if you want, you can sand this a little bit more and it will lighten back up if you want it that way. You know, look at these. So let me show you. See how dark that one is? Because I burned it really dark and then didn't sand too much back off of it. But this one, see what I mean? See, dark, light, light, dark. Because that one I sanded back off a lot. And then the other thing, sometimes when you get these really dark spots, that's from sap or knots, different things like that. Yeah, that's the final product. And for anybody that wants to know, it is almost 5 feet tall and it's 19 inches across at the base. Hope you all enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next one.